Guests who are with us on the broadcast. Tushar Gupta, the senior editor of the Swaraj magazine, is with us on the show. Ravi Srivastava, who's a political analyst, is also with us on the broadcast. Tusharji, first to you, what kind of regulatory control and mechanism is required on madrasas in the country, and there's a very limited extent to which it exists right now, rather very amorphous in nature?
Good afternoon. You've made a very clear point that there are a lot of madrasas that get their curriculum vetted by the government. But what we are seeing right now across various states, there's a lot of shadow funding and a lot of shadow curriculums that are run in these madrasas, which borderline radicalization. And this is not just one or two news channels that are reporting. This has been a common finding amongst many. Look at one of the news reports your channel did with respect to Assam, where a lot of madrasas have come up in the India-Bangladesh region. So for now, every state government should actually look into the madrasas, the ones that are not being vetted by the government, the ones that are anyway getting funding from the government. What are the curriculums that are being there? Who are the clerics that are teaching there? What is the curriculum? What is the kind of impact it is having on young minds? There's nothing wrong about it. The OACs can lash out at the BJP stating that this is a mini NRC or whatnot. But at the end of the day, education is a state subject. Now, be it a BJP government, be it a Congress government, or even a TMC government tomorrow in West Bengal, every state government has the right to vet all religious institutions they're funding. Tomorrow, if there is any other religious institution they might want to vet, they have all the right to do so. So why does it become about religion? Also, there are enough reports, there is enough literature circulating within the intelligence agencies, within the policymakers, within the political circles, that there are some madrasas which are notorious for some unlawful activities, or rather planning of some unlawful activities. So it just needs to be investigated. No need for any political leader to make it about NRC or anything else.
Yeah. There's no need to make it about NRC or anything else, because this is about a larger regulatory mechanism that you should have. Mr. Ravi Srivastava, who's a political analyst, is also with us on the show. Raviji, what is the reason that as a country, 75 years of independence, we've not been able to get a regulatory mechanism in place, whether it's at the state level or at the union level? Go ahead, have your religious learning. It's your right under Article 25. It's your right to have a free conscience. But at the same time, there has to be a certain degree of monitoring of education, the curriculum which is being taught, the manner in which a madrasa is being run. Why haven't we been able to get any sort of that mechanism in this country?
Anusha, only one part I agree out of this report is that madrasa education should be modernized. The madrasa education should be on par with the other educational institutions operating in the country. But unfortunately, BJP is in principle against the education, and more so against the government school regulation. So they have already closed down some 72,000 schools, and majority are in Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. So I am asking a question. Are the madrasa qualified people not qualifying for the IAS, IPS and other high qualifications? They do. The thing is that it is just to malign the particular institution because it is named as madrasa, just to see that they are the people who are from the minority status, just to say that they are producing the Atankawadi, terrorists and this and that. I don't know how many terrorists who have been caught so far. They all got the education in madrasas. Can the government prove it? I don't think there is a regulatory mechanism required. What is required is the modernization of the education.
But sir, how do you do the modernization without regulation?
No, it can. It can. There is no need for a government stick for that. It's a kind of a hand-holding. And since the education is in the states, the respective states can do this hand-holding with the madrasas and tell them, look, the better it will be if you teach the modern education also, the science, the engineering, the medicine and other things, apart from your education which you are imparting already. I don't find anything wrong with that if they are teaching something, some of their religious practices and all that.
I don't think that's under question, Mr. Srivastava. I don't think any of us are saying that you cannot impart your religious tenets or your religious, faith to your own believers and followers. I don't think we as a country believe that under Article 14 and 21 and 19, the three pillars of Indian Constitution. The argument here is that in a border state like Assam, or where you share a border, say with a country like Bangladesh or any other country, say in Pakistan, in multiple parts of Kashmir, there are multiple institutions that come under the garb of madrasas, they run there, illegally constructed buildings, they get some kind of local support and funding by certain fringe elements, and then it becomes a security concern. Because there is no regulatory mechanism in place, it becomes a larger depiction of how madrasas are run in the country, and that is why I make a case for some degree of regulation here. The government must have a list of all the madrasas. The government must know what is being taught in the madrasas. Is it in line with the tenets of the country? Is it being in line with the constitution and the religious studies? And then they can go ahead and impart their learning. There is no problem about it.
Anusha, first thing is, your report itself says that at least 10,000 madrasas get the government grant. That is from the central government itself. Now, my point here is that the states which you are mentioning about, the Assam, which are neighboring states to the foreign countries, the Bangladesh, the Burma and Jammu Kashmir, neighboring to Pakistan, such a state, this is a job of the intelligence to find out. It is a job of intelligence. If they prove it, if they find out that there is some kind of mischievous activities are going on, or some kind of training is being imparted to the people who are attending to madrasas, I think the state way they should be shut down.